Do South African fans really care about the IPL? I was thinking about this today when I was doing some research on just what people are interested in cricket in South Africa because we've been doing a couple of shows, and while I was planning out my shows for the next couple of weeks until the World Cup, I was thinking of a topic, and this one popped up because I'm looking through social media and trying to get an understanding of what fans in South African cricket are actually interested in. And I haven't really been seeing a lot of hype from a South African standpoint about the IPL. Now, does that have to do with the fact that it's only been shown or streamed on Supersport and that you need to kind of buy rights to stream it if you're going to stream it digitally? I think that obviously plays its part as well. And it sparked my interest when the figures of the SA20 was released as well with regards to how much views, etc. That the tournament was getting. So I was sitting here and thinking, the IPL is also played at a very awkward time when it comes to South African standard time because the games are usually at about 4 o'clock South African Standard Time. Majority of people work a 9 to 5 or around about 8:30 till about 5, and then sit in traffic till about 6:30 or 6 o'clock. So by the time they get home to watch the IPL, they've most likely have missed the first innings. If particularly they don't have the DSTV streaming services to be able to watch this on their mobile phones or on their tablets or on their computers, etc. So I was interested to see how much interest South African fans have with regards to this. And I want you guys to obviously get involved in the live chat, but I ran a couple of polls as well. I put one on X or Twitter as well on Facebook. And I'm going to start the show off by showing you guys the comments on Facebook and what people have been saying about the IPL and what their reasons are behind it. So this is going to be majority of the show is going to be me just exposing some of the comments, or not exposing it, but revealing some of the comments to you guys and going through each and every one of them. I will give you a little bit of my opinion on how I feel personally about the tournament. I think you guys know already that I'm sitting on the more in the uninterested bracket than actually the excited bracket. And I made it very clear to you guys that I'll be just keeping a close eye on the South African players and how they perform, and as well as the news updates regarding to fitness and injuries, etc. as well. But I also have to keep an eye on the fact that which teams are going to go through until the knockout phases, because I think that CSA will be calling players back from the IPL to go play in the West Indies series if those teams have not made the knockout stages and are looking like they're going to fall out of the running for a trophy. So, before we get going, before we get started, first and foremost, subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell for all future videos. Very important that you guys do so as we're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. So, please do that and share this with all your friends and family that are South African cricket fans. I'd also like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. So, without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show, your SA Cricket show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohideen, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with South African cricket. But today we have a little bit of an international angle, although it will be focused particularly on South Africans and South African cricket fans and what they are feeling and what they are thinking about the IPL. Now, as the IPL gets closer to the knockout stages. We are getting closer to the business end of the tournament. 12 games have been played, some have 13 games under their belt, and there are 14 games in total until we get to the knockout stages. We are starting to see the table, the top run scorers, the top wicket takers, the best performers starting to take shape now, and we can kind of see which players are impressing and which players are not. And we can also see which players are finding their form and which players aren't. I take an interest only in the South African players in this tournament, although it isn't too risky to obviously, or it's not, it's in our benefit as well to try and have a look at other players around the country that have also performed. I think my biggest criticism of this tournament so far is that how flat the tracks have been generally. We've seen a lot of scores close to 250, and a lot of scores passing 250, and a lot of scores just going over 200. Bowlers have been completely torn apart in this tournament, and it's really starting to look like it is a batters tournament and not a bowlers tournament. Definitely, that's where it is looking like it's getting towards. Now, I said there's 12, 13 matches played. I was mistaken. There's 11, 12 matches or 11 matches being played. We'll hit the 12 mark after this round of fixtures has been completed. And then we can take a look at the top teams. I mean, Kolkata Knight Riders, Rajasthan Royals, Sunrisers Hyderabad, and Chennai Super Kings are in the top four currently. So Sunrisers Hyderabad quite South African heavy when it comes to South African representation. We can obviously see that the Rajasthan Royals have quite a few South African players in it, and Heinrich Klaassen is in the mix over there. Um, the likes of Aiden Markram is in the mix over there as well. So, what am I doing? So it is important that we keep an eye on that squad because a lot of those players are very important to South African cricket. So we need to keep a close eye on that team specifically. Keshav Maharaj is the only South African in the Rajasthan Royals team, and they're sitting second on the table. Sunrisers Hyderabad is is sitting first on the table. I mean, second on the table. Sunrisers Hyderabad third on the table. Sorry, Rajasthan Royals second on the table. I'm reading it so poorly tonight, guys. Wow. So to keep an eye on the Rajasthan Royals, only really Keshav Maharaj available over there, who has had a couple of games and he's been okay. Not so sure whether they're going to stick with him towards the end of this tournament going into the knockout stages. But I'm not so worried about Keshav. I think he can come straight into the South African team, and it won't be too much of a momentum thing with him, I guess, because we also have Bjorn Fortuin, who will be playing in the West Indies. When it comes to the Kolkata Knight Riders, who are sitting on the top of the log, South Africa doesn't have any players in that team, so we don't really have to worry about them. They will be playing probably. They will probably be playing the final, and it's been a long time since the Kolkata Knight Riders have actually made it um, in the have done well in the IPL. So they're actually doing us a favor in a way. Only Nandre, oh, Nandre Berger's also in the Rajasthan Royals, by the way. I forgot to mention his name as well. Not getting game time in every single game either. Okay, but back to Kolkata Knight Riders, they're actually doing us quite a favor because no South Africans in that squad. So it does help us that they might be available to go to the West, that more players will probably be available to go to the West Indies if that is the case. When it comes to the Chennai Super Kings, um, they are sitting currently fourth on the log, but they're competing with DC and LSG for a spot. Now, as the business end gets towards the end, those games are going to be so crucial because we're hoping that for a South African standpoint, that Chennai Super Kings makes that final spot because there aren't any South Africans in their squad either. But um, when it comes to Delhi Capitals, it's important that we don't have them in the knockout phases because we want them to be able to play in the West Indies, these players, particularly Tristan Stubbs, who's doing excellently for them currently. So, and Anik Nokia, who we have an issue with Anik Nokia. If we have an issue with Anik Nokia with injury, we don't want him to get injured. Lazard Williams is part of that, and Lungingidi. But Lazard is not in the provisional squad for for the Proteas when it comes to the World Cup, so we don't have to really worry about him really. But Tristan Stubbs and Anrich Nokia are two players we'd want to see back, and we would want to see them get familiar with the West Indian um, conditions, etc. And then obviously you've got the Lucknow Super Giant squad, and we know that an important player for us over there is Quentin de Kock, who hasn't necessarily gotten a lot of game time in recent times for this team. They haven't used him in every single game, but we're hoping that they also start to fall down a bit and not get knocked out of the competition, because I know it's a very selfish way of looking at, but I don't support any of those teams really. So I don't really watch the IPL as much. And I mean, the last time um, that when he played was he got an opportunity this time around yesterday. But before that, the last time he played was 27 April. So he wasn't necessarily playing every single game for them. Um, you can obviously see that, but he's played majority, but he hasn't been really doing that well. His last three games, he had 0, 8, and 2. So he isn't really finding his form um, for them in recent times. But that's 20 for you, because before that 54, you got 10, 19, 6, and then 81 and 54. So 54, 81 in a row, and then 6, 19, 10, and then 54, 0, 8, 2. That's how Quinny scores his runs. But as the table is shaping up, we're going to keep an eye on particularly which players are going to make it out into that knockout stages. But at least the top two teams um, don't have really many South African players in the side. So let me just get into some of your live chat before I get into the Facebook comments. I'm also running a poll currently on YouTube that you guys can have a look at and go vote. So far, there haven't been many votes, only 15 votes on the poll, but 53% people say they couldn't care less about the IPL. 20% say they watch some games, and 27% say they can't wait for a game. I also ran a Twitter or X poll as well. And this one, let me see how well this one's doing. Uh, about 40 votes have been made over there. 40% of people say they couldn't care less. 40% say they watched some of the games, and 20% say that they can't wait for a game. So that's how the poll is coming across at the moment. Uh, let's see what Envoy says. Khalid, us SA fans need to be interested in the IPL because the amount of cricket these guys are playing, the chance of injuries is a real possibility. Really hoping these SA players, teams like Sunrisers losers, so that they can receive a rest and not be burnt out during the World Cup. It's a fair point, and that's what I covered at the beginning of the show over here. Sam says, Hardy, this year SA should be used to aggressive in power play, especially Risa. Yes. Envoy says, the lack of hype, Hardy, is because we are worried our players will get injured. I don't necessarily think that that's the lack of hype is really due to that. But I think that also we are sitting with a situation where I just think a lot of people don't have access to the IPL in South Africa as a whole. Only a small portion of South Africans have the full package of DSTV to be able to watch the IPL. Um, uh, Dumazweni says desensitized, I think is the word. Brilliant. There's been too much T20 played around the world to make it worse. It is the same players rotating bar the PSL. In any case, I watch the IPL when Proteas are featured. I try. It's at a very awkward time during the day. Um, so yeah, I just think there's way too many games. Lorenzo, welcome back, bro. I haven't seen you in the comments in a long time. Khalid, I have the full DStv package yet I don't watch the IPL. That just shows how disinterested I am in the IPL. Give me SA20, Proteas T20Is, and T20I World Cups, and I'll be watch it religiously. Same bracket as you, bro. Ron says Anik Nokia could really do with some games in West Indies. Tristan Stubbs at 4 as well. So I would love it if DC doesn't make the playoffs. Game time in West Indies will be way more valuable. Spot on. And that's exactly what I was trying to say. And that's why I went through the logs for you guys to show you which teams are in the knockout phases. And there's a big possibility that Delhi Capitals, sitting at 5, that they're going to be competing for spots now. So it's going to be a very touch and go with regards to that one. Lorenzo says, Quentin, oh, sorry, Sam says, Khalid, why legends like AB de Villiers don't help players like Markham in improving his weakness? AB only tells his weaknesses in his game in his YouTube channel named ABD 360. I don't know. You have to ask ABD in his live comment section. Lorenzo says Twintercock's worst format is 100% T20 cricket. Lawrence Bailey says, I used to watch the IPL religiously, especially the first 10 seasons. Nowadays, I only watch RR games and the SA boys. Other than that, I'm not in, interested. Um, Waka says, I don't see a poll. Where can I add my feedback? So the poll is in the community section. It's on YouTube, on our YouTube channel in the community section. I don't know how that actually shows to you guys, but let me just run a poll. I wonder if I can run a poll here. On I wonder if I can run a poll on the show itself. Um, Let me see if I can run a poll for you guys now on the show. I know I can, so let's do it. I don't know what I'm stalling for. Um, it sucks that I can't do it from my phone. Why can't I do it from my phone? That's retarded. Um, I'm gonna have to do it from my computer. Um, the poll is in the community section on Cricket Fanatics' YouTube channel. I don't know how you access that. It comes up like a status as a notification on the YouTube. I don't know if you can find it that way, but let me just do a poll for you guys now. Um, Seeing that I am by my computer, I'm at my computer. How you guys be watching me? Also, guys, just to let you guys know, it's something that I'm thinking about, but I'm not. It's not 100% confirmed quite yet. I'll speak to you guys right now. I'll just hold on. Let me just see if I can do a poll quickly. Um, how the hell do I do that again? I completely forgot. Okay, wait. Let me switch accounts first. 2 seconds, guys. Sorry. I mean, I might as well. I should have done this before the show. I didn't know it was going to take this bloody long. And I thought that the other one would pop up on the screen. I mean, on YouTube for you guys to find easily. I didn't think that it would be so difficult to find the other poll. So sorry about this. Um, Hope you guys also smash the like button, please. There we go. Please smash the like button as well, guys. It really helps out the channel. There's the poll for you guys now. I put it up on the Facebook page. It's so complicated. Anyway, so where was I? Um, uh, Captain saying, please bring Ryan Rickleton on the show. I'll try my best. I'll send him a message. I want to listen about his recent success. We've had him quite a few times, but I'll ask him for maybe sometime next week before they go on camp. I'll ask him if he can come on. They're very busy at the moment. This is where SA20 has been smart. They're not overwhelming fans with 2-3 months of cricket. One action-packed month of fantastic cricket. People don't want to be watching the same league for 2 months straight. Yes, you may think so right now. They only have it like this because that's all they can afford right now. They are planning to add extra teams to the league as well. That is in their plans. Remember that this is an India product. The, what the Indians say, the Indians will do. So the Indian owners, etc., that are invested in this league, they will run the shots and decide what is more viable for them. And there's already been talks about them trying to get extra teams into this. Um, I will always be of the view that you select players on current form. So, with that being said, Riza and Rickleton, aka Cody Rhodes. Did you guys see that video that I put up on Instagram and I think on TikTok as well? I don't go on TikTok often to add content, but I put it up on Instagram of Cody Rhodes. Opens the batting for me. I'm sorry, but I don't rate QDK in 220 hours. Don't judge me, guys, but I mean, don't judge me on this, but I do watch WWE, especially recently because it was crap for many years, but now it's already again starting to get exciting. And WrestleMania was absolutely fantastic, one of the best WrestleManias I've ever seen. But talking about that quickly off topic, I'm thinking about it, but it's not 100% confirmed. I have to find time in my schedule to have to start to have my own channel or to start my own channel with my name based on my interests, my other interests that I have other than cricket, and just give you guys maybe a video a week where I talk about different things that I enjoy. So movies, series, comic book movies, Marvel, DC. I'm recently watching X-Men 97, WWE, football like Man United, and other teams as well. And I'll be having a conversation on those things too, call-in shows as well as and etc. Just in my spare time when I have that opportunity, I'm gonna plan it and thinking about starting that. Um, what you guys say as well will obviously sway me towards whether I would or wouldn't do it. But just to give you guys a heads up on that. Burbick says, I'm interested in how SA players do in the IPL generally. I was into it for the first few weeks this season, but now hardly at all. It just seems way too long. To sidetrack as well, I hope Ryan helps the Proteas finish their story. Brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. If I had a sound effect right now, if I had a sound effect right now, I would definitely press that bomb. So let me just show you what you guys have said on Facebook. Not you guys, but fans have said on Facebook. It's been quite hectic. There's been over 140 comments, as you guys can see over here. I asked them to rate it. South African fans on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in the IPL? And Ignas Kukamur says, I was a fan, but this season I lost interest. Barely a challenge between bat and ball. Veronica Skuman Kutsa says 10. I just love to see all the talent. It's an older lady, I think. And I think this lady, she said this. I think she mentioned it before. She said that she's I think she said this is the lady that said she was retired and she has a lot of time on her hands, so now she watches. I'm not 100% sure. Let me not say things that are not 100% true. Vivian Lewis says 8. He follows the Orange Army 100%. And Paul Clardy says entertaining, but I watch it sometimes. Rivaldo Aronsa says, with the T20 World Cup, it's nice to keep an eye on the IPL, kind of give you the sense of who is in form. Lawrence Willemser says glorified baseball in pajamas, but necessary for the future of our sport. Good comment, that one. This sounds like a Indian fan, so I'm not going to take his into regard. Or actually, not an Indian fan, maybe from. Oh, it says the Pakistan. Adele says I watch every single game, 10 out of 10. Sorry, Adele, 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 flip. Someone like you. Oh my god, that was embarrassing. Petro Maya says, very good, keep it up. We're proud of you and your accomplishments. Keep up the amazing work and keep doing what you're doing. I think he's meant. Who's he talking to? Very good, keep it up. Proud of you or your accomplishments. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you. I wouldn't have expected that on a Facebook post. You can hear the. I don't know if you can. No, you can't hear it, but comments are still coming in. Dries says absolutely a Big Ten better than the World Cup. I'm seeing a lot of tens here. Dominique saying they don't even assess conditions anymore. Win the toss and choose to bowl predictable. Heidi says 10 love the cricket. Jonathan says 10. I try not to miss a game. Estelle says 10. RCB can still qualify. Houston says 10, but since we have our own T20, my interest in the IPL has dropped from 10 to 5. Richard says 10. They are not games of cricket. It's a slugfest, and they should just set up, -10, set up a bowling machine and use that. Lisha says IPL 10. Zama says 0%. Not sure if that is clear enough. Wow, I'm going to laugh at that one. That's funny. Rajesh says 5. I enjoy watching a bowler bowl a good spell, but not in this IPL. Damon says follow SA players' performances. Luckily, I have always supported SRH. Iponeng says I have watched every game of it. Wow. Jacques says getting too long now, was fun for the first 2-3 weeks. Daniel DeVet says I watch it to occupy myself. However, the rules need a major adjustment to make it serious. Stop preparing pitches that benefit high scoring and make them more equatable. Deduct 6 runs for every fruitless referral in order to reduce the constant break in play. Max says, "Hmm, um, as Mumbai Indians fan and South African, I'll give it a 5. The reason being it wasn't great, but it hasn't been terrible. Yes, there are flat ticks, and it's a batsman's paradise, but watching these bowlers has been terrific on how they managed to get some of the wickets. Steve Duplessis is probably about a 6. I basically only watch the games SA players and ex-SA players participate in and also support that team. But it seems the SA players are getting less and less game time, so my interest is beginning to fade." Hansi Smith says, I watch most of the games and support and hope all of the success on our players and coaches. Not always happening, but they need our positive support. Kevin says 1. Only watch it. One of our boys is in the team. Rauf says 0. Rizan says 10. Very entertaining. The best is playing in the competition. Lester says, I watch any kind of cricket or format because I love the game. Cricket, I watch any nation and series because that's what cricket lovers do. For IPL, it's 10 for me. Claudine says, I'm a huge fan of cricket, but out of 10, 5. Darren says 7, but the moment the games are becoming one sided affairs. Sipalele says, I'm a huge follower, but mostly support teams dominated by South Africans this season. I'm for SRH. That seems to be the common trend over here. That people say they mostly follow the South African players, which I'm not shocked by. But I'm very surprised by the amount of tens because this morning there was a lot of fours and threes and twos this morning. Gerard says, I love Test cricket, but some of the shots played in the IPL have been simply outstanding. Some great catches as well, 9 out of 10. Yako says 10, watched every game. Rachel says, enjoyed very much. Last night was the best game yet. Lana says 4, very cuck. The pitches are so flat, it's embarrassing. Dan says 10, enjoyed every game. Best cricket tournament in the world. Rudy says, if that is an indication of the World Cup to come, I don't want to be a bowler. Neil says one. Niels Momberg, that's massive. I mean, he works for Cricket South Africa and he's a big player in Cricket South Africa, particularly with development. And for him to say one to keep an eye, but I find boring anti-cricket, massive. Vaughan says the pitches are so flat, it's a wonder no team has scored 300 yet. Um, Niels Lowe says, I watch it for entertainment value as the original T20 series. Interest wise, 5 out of 10. I couldn't be bothered with one. Far too often of the senseless game, and now another World Cup starting as well. It's really ugly cricket. And Kuntali says, haven't watched a single game and just couldn't be bothered. Had little interest in the home SA20 as well. That is the IPL. I probably won't find any interest in the upcoming World Cup. There's too much T20 and I find it excruciating to watch. Rian says 9 without a doubt. That guy, I think, commented already. Joshua says 4. It's too long. Wakar says 1 out of 10. And Shekofatsu says I'll give it a 6. And that's just 50 of the comments so far. Um, what are you guys saying about all of this? Let me just get into your comments and what you guys have said so far. According to that, Lorenzo says I was a huge Mark Boucher fan regarding coaching, but I doubt him massively now. His last year at the Proteas were poor, and at MI he's been crap. Still a Proteas legend though. I've always had doubts with his coaching, but that's also, guys. You must also remember that my opinions also come from, and that's the problem. Some of them come from actually talking to people that have worked with him and players and behind the scenes and administrators, etc. So a lot of my comments and stuff like that come from that basis. So that sways me a bit because obviously I'm going to take players' words for it, etc. And when I started hearing things from behind the scenes and all of that type of stuff, that's what made me sway so much against him. Not only the results. Lorenzo, isn't it mad that we play no home series in 2025? Like, how ridiculous is that? CSI surely must get their ducks in a row. We want more test cricket. 100% Lorenzo. And we spoke about this on another night, on a different night as well. We covered that, talking about that in depth, and we probably will do it again. Avin says, hi, bro, Khalid, IPL is so boring. Yeah, bro. I feel the same way. But according to this Facebook comment so far, a lot of people are ranting and raving about it. Yeah, Olivia Festus says 20, love it. Michael says 10 out of 10. Alva says 5 out of 10. Glenda says she loves it. Uh, Marvin says, never seen a ball bowled in anger. Test cricket to me is the only format. T20s are damaging the game as far as I'm concerned. Sad. Renette says 10, enjoy to watch. Tim says 5, but that's pushing the limit. Some of the comms teams are very annoying. Heather says 100 out of 10. Jeffrey says 1. Eugene says 10. Jason says -10. Libachang says 9. Gideon says 0.2. Hannah says 1. Leanne says 10. Gordon says 1. So you can see, guys, here, these scores, I'm not going to read out every single bloody name, but I'm just going to scroll through so you guys can see. It's very, very mixed here. And I maybe should have ran a poll on Facebook, but I just thought that the comment section get some talking points on it and we can get some extended comments on it as well. And just saying -0. -7 says Prince. That's funny. I'm going to like that. As you can see, it's quite mixed, with a lot of people actually saying that they love the tournament. So I'm sitting in the space that I can't watch all the games, and it's difficult for me to pick a team. Now, okay, not me so much because I already support Sunrisers Eastern Cape and Emma Cape Town and Paul Royals in a way. Um, I really kind of have an affinity with those teams in the SA20s, so it's not so difficult for me to follow a team really in the IPL. But there are so many games happening, and it's almost like the first couple of games don't really matter because it's almost like the teams are still starting to warm themselves up, and then they kick on towards the end. And then what happens is players fall off form, and then South Africans particularly, and then they don't get picked again, and then you're sitting with them on the bench, and then what's the point? Then I'm not interested. Um, After that, so it is a bit irritating. Uh, Sam, I've been taking all your comments. What are you on about? um, Tavani says IPL is too much and boring. Serious. Uh, your thoughts on the algo comments? I gave my comments on the previous show. Um, I said I would like to. I wasn't surprised by the comments really, the way he left, and I knew he's going to complain and be salty about the situation. But on top of it, I would also like to hear the other side of the story, and hear what the coach has to say as well, and not only his side. Um, it's also quite irritating that he waited to go to England before he spoke about these things, um, and goes to the county and then talks to a report about it as well. I didn't really uh, enjoy that per se. Um, and yeah, I would like to hear what the coach's point of view is, and not only his point of view. Um, Kelly says all the games merge into one. To be honest, you wouldn't even guess they were at the different venues. To be honest, it's true. It's the same vibes all along. It's just different colors. The Vardy says Mzansi Super League is the best and exciting. It's a pity we don't have that anymore. I know you mean the SA20. Arvin says, Harry, bro, I want to see SA play more test cricket, the best and real form of cricket. Spot on, bro. I agree with you. I also want that for South African cricket. That would be the best. I mean, I have more fun, to be honest with you, as a as a content producer that does fan content. I enjoy the test matches more than the T20 cricket as well. Okay, you could say 50 over games as well, but I would say Test cricket actually more because in one day cricket people are still very glued to the middle and to the field, and um, they don't really chill out as much and take a back seat. So in Test cricket, people seem to be a little bit more chilled and reserved and open to talk to me. So when I walk around the stadium and things, they're open to have a conversation on camera. So I enjoy those Test matches a lot more when it comes to interacting with fans. I've gotten some of my best content during Test matches, when it comes to fan content. So unless it's a late night T20 game and people are drunk out of their minds by 1 hour in, um, then I can get some interesting content. But I just get a lot more and a lot more educational content. It's a lot more intellectual, the conversations that I have at Test cricket, I would say. Um, I haven't. I have to go through Cricket South Africa to get JP to come on the show. So I'll request for the interview. Navneet, Khalid, brother, do you see KG deserves a place in the T20 World Cup squad because he leaks too many runs and doesn't take wickets as he is our senior bowler? To be fair to KG in this IPL, he hasn't necessarily been leaking as much runs as some of the other people in this tournament. The last time I checked, at least, uh, the last time I checked, he was only going at an economy of. Let me just go check, and I'm not going to do a guessing game here. Um, I think he was going at economy of 8 point something. Uh, Here we go, 8.85. and he's taken 11 wickets in 11 games. So he's not as bad as, for example, Ashdeep Singh, but Ashdeep Singh's taking more wickets. KG's role is becoming less and less of a strike bowler for South Africa in T20 cricket than it is as just keeping pressure on, basically. I feel that he can be a lot better in the wicket taking department, but I think he's lost a couple of paces, a little bit of pace as well, so that also doesn't help out much. Um, Tivani says Test cricket is true cricket, not fake T20. Um, but yeah, guys, I thought that was a good show to give you guys some insight into this particular conversation. What is your thoughts on American pitches, says Sam? I don't know too much about American pitches, but I've heard that they're going to be quite slow. Some of them are going to be dropping pitches as well. I will get someone to do some research on this a little bit later. We do have a guy that lives in America, so I'm going to ask him to actually do some research and ask around about that. We did ask Dane Pitt about it when he came on our show. There's an exclusive interview on this channel if you want to hear about America. So go and check that out as well if you want to know about that. The poll on the show, we are currently sitting on. Where did the poll disappear to? Can someone tell me what the poll results are? Because I don't know. They just disappeared on my side. What the hell? The poll disappeared on my side. So someone please tell me in the live chat what the poll is. Weird. Extremely strange. Yeah, bloody strange. Um. Oh, here we go. 29%, 33% of you say you couldn't care less. 56%, 15. Oh, it's constantly changing. 33% couldn't care less. 56% says catch some games, and 11% says can't wait for a game. Um, Lorenzo says Test cricket, arguing with Khalid about tactics and certain strategies way more fun. T20 cricket, arguing with Khalid on who they should have elevated up the order, way more boring. Oh Lord, great fun, Lorenzo. I still want to catch you guys in the stadium, you and your brother. That would be excellent to have a conversation with you on camera live. That would be brilliant. Benita says America doesn't have any pitches of their own, so they have being Australian drop-in flat pitches from Adelaide and Melbourne laid out. Yeah, I heard that there's going to be a lot of drop-in pitches, so let's see what happens with regards to that. Khalid, when is your next show? I'm going to try to do a call-in show tomorrow where it's free for all and anybody can call in and just talk to me about anything cricket related. You will see that notification when it goes live. But other than that, it will be next week Monday. We will do a show next week Monday. So just keep your notifications on and keep up to date with when the shows are. I've got a couple of interesting ones planned out. As soon as as soon as we get to the West Indies series, we're gonna have a show every day again. Leading up into the World Cup, obviously. During the World Cup, we'll have a show every day, and we'll see if I can carry on in that momentum. Navneet says, Khalid, where do you stay? Live in SA? I stay in Cape Town. Uh, Kelly says, one thing that is amusing is how MI has crashed out with expensive players and DC still in the hunt with a couple of 50L and 80L guys. 100%. Boucher is the coach for MI. I warned you guys. Dumazweni says, as an outsider, not a cricket fundi, I enjoy Test cricket more because it being a full day. I got to learn more about the game as compared to the boom boom T20 ODI. Fair enough. Kelly says more teams should moneyball their way through these tournaments. Uh, Sam says, Khalid, where Aiden Markram is lacking in his game, he is our Virat Kohli of SA. He needs to be more responsible and understand his wicket. It's mental for me with Aiden Markram. His technique's fine. You can see that he can take games away from people. You could see him in the ODI World Cup as well. He was brilliant. And for me personally, I just think that he's got to work on that mentality to be able to stay within the game when the team is under pressure, and he needs to, and consistency with regards to that. Um, I think South Africa's biggest problem is not talent; it's more mental. Uh, Benita says, "Let's see how SA perform in West Indies slow double-paced wickets." Um, Kelly says, "Moneyball being the SEC did what the SEC did. They have great coaches, though." Yeah, I mean, you see, Burrell is just a brilliant builder, builder of culture. The way he creates a environment uh, that is conducive to winning, and not just winning, playing for your opposite, for your teammates. I think that is key in any winning sport. We've seen so many teams in world football. We've seen so many teams in cricket, and we've now seen so many teams in other sports as well that have thrown money at problems and tried to buy their success. And in the end, it actually stabs them in the back because they're not building any culture amongst the team. So that is a major issue within sport. And over and over and over again, coaches are proving that a team culture and playing for that badge, bleeding for the badge, and playing for your teammates is going to create a winning environment. And you're going to win a lot more doing so. And that's what Biddle got spot on. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please subscribe. Please click subscribe and the notification bell for all future videos. I'm gonna try and give you guys a live call-in show tomorrow, where you guys can just call in and have your say on anything South African cricket. And we can have a nice discussion and have some fun on the show with some people calling in and see what you guys have had to say on that. I want to do a calling show more regularly where you guys can come on and have a chat with me, and we can talk all things South African cricket. But anyway, stay safe. Enjoy the rest of uh, your your week. And if I don't see you tomorrow, then enjoy your weekend. But stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out, everyone.